This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
I think that's pretty fair for a guy. Once a quarter, 4 times a year, you trim toenails.
If it needs to be done, it needs to be done. I don't think that you can go by the calendar year.
You probably wish I would, because I probably maybe really do it like twice a year.
And co-host Marney Winfield.
The people that really are drawn to the 12-step program, one piece of those 12-step groups is because it's people from all different varieties and lengths of time of sobriety.
It is Saturday, May 4th. 2024. My name's Corey Winfield.
My name's Marney Winfield.
And this is the 217 Recovery Podcast. Apparently my cat, she's going by her daddy's toenail clippings.
Yeah.
She just does not clip her toenails.
No, she doesn't. She refuses to.
You had a great time taking her to the vet yesterday. She's coming up on 14.
Can I just say
old.
right now, I'm glad that we have a full almost 24 hours since that experience to talk about it because it was that upsetting.
What? No way.
Way. Total way. Yes.
You want to talk about it?
I mean, you can, go ahead with your.
No, let's just go ahead and I'm going to hear your story first.
Oh, okay. So you got the dramatic music? No, because it was nothing like that.
No,
It was more if you have like chaos, like.
Oh, you need a different background music. Let's try. No, still not chaos. No. All right.
Well, so
okay,
so I'll just give the abbreviated version. So the appointment was at 10:30 at the vet, and the concern was that you had and noticed her kind of being sensitive, like being more mindful of her footing.
Well, if we want to rewind back even further, let's go back because we held her down and clipped her toenails or her claws, whatever you want to call them. Let's just call them toenails.
Okay.
I don't know because there's like a vein in their little paws where if you cut their toenail too
short,
it'll hurt them really bad. So
right.
I thought we did a pretty good job, but I'm not a cat nail clipper person, so I don't think I did the best job ever. It was out of a 10, I probably did a 1 because it was like hold her down, get her, and she's like, and she's kind of a big cat.
You kind of picked like you do 2 nails and then let her go.
Yeah, and then we'd wait, and then the next morning she'd be on the bed and be like, get her, get them nails, get the other 2, come on, hurry, let's go.
Right.
It was an ordeal, so I don't think I did a very good job. But I noticed that she had been limping. And she's older, and we have many more stairs in our place now. And I just thought she maybe had some arthritis, or maybe her nails were bugging her. And I thought we should probably go to the vet. Mm-hmm. So I was like, honey, we need to take Nico to the vet. And you're like, I'll schedule it.
Yeah.
And you were like really great about it. And then you're like, I'll take her. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was
fun.
I felt great. I was confident about it. I've taken her before. I've loaded her up in the little kitty caddy before. She's not the easiest, but it's doable. And we've moved her from, because we were in that hotel for a while before we found our apartment. So we've moved her around.
Yeah, she's not a fan of vehicles.
She just doesn't care for it.
She gets real sick. She pukes. She poops in the carrier. It's not a fun thing for her, and she gets real stressed out. So normally when we take her, you have to just kind of like see her on the bed, just grab her, don't say nothing to her, and then she doesn't like to be picked up either. So when you take her and you just throw her right into the carrier, just boom, boom, done. No talk, no conversation, just do. Mm-hmm. And when I left yesterday, I made sure that she was in the bedroom because I'm like, this will be a lot easier. She's just in the bedroom because we also, on top of this, we have Bob helping us out, and Bob's painting some rooms in our home, actually all of them.
Yeah.
But he's doing them one at a time, so she doesn't also like strangers, so she freaks out. So keep that in mind that she's on high alert. Someone else is in the house, she can hear them. And so I just shut her in the bedroom. I thought that's where she'll be, and then Marty can come in and take her, and it'll be no problem. So I'm sitting at work, and I get a FaceTime, or actually it was a call from you saying, I can't find Nico. I can't find your cat, and I'm running late. I got to be at the vet. Like, what's going on? I was like, honey, she's in the bedroom. And you're like, yeah, I know. I didn't let her out. And you're adamant about not letting her out.
Yeah.
And you search the bedroom, but there's only so many places a cat can hide.
Right.
And I was like, well, she's not in there. Like, she must have got out. But I didn't let her out. I'm like, well, she's not in there. Like, I don't know where she could be. And I'm like, well, she ran downstairs. And then I remembered a couple weeks ago, sorry, we got morning voice. It's like 7:30 in the morning here in Michigan. And I remember she was under the couch that we have in the Winfield Plex, which is just next to the office down here. And the other cats were messing with her, and I heard her growling at them. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, so she can fit under the couch downstairs. So I bet that's where she's at. And
yeah.
that's where she was at. And then you decided to move the couch, and she just let that happen and jumped in your arms and said, take me to the kitty doctor.
Yeah, you were correct all up until the very last bit there.
Oh, okay.
And it was exact opposite of that. But no, so I had looked for her for quite some time before I actually called you, because I was just like, come on, this is ridiculous. And so I called him thinking like there might be some place where I'm not thinking of, because I'm frazzled, because I was so ahead of myself on time that I was like doing other things.
You even called the vet and said, hey, can I come early?
Yeah, I even called the vet and I was like, can I come early? And it was like, Nico's upstairs in the bedroom. I know where the kitty catty's at, downstairs in the storage room. Let's go snag that. She's probably on the bed. I'm just going to pick her up and put her in there and we'll be on our way. Mm. And so and then I waited to that moment. So I was like 40 minutes ahead of schedule, and I was just going to go in and be early. And it didn't work out that way. So anyway, she was not only underneath the couch, she was in the lining underneath the couch. So there was two strategically made not strategically, they were just randomly made by one or all of our cats, I'm not sure.
Not putting blame on either one of them.
Right.
They all have.
So they have access to the lining underneath. So it's not completely all ripped out. It's just there's two ways to get in and out of this lining. Mm-hmm. And so when she already knew I was looking for her. She's a smart cat, because I had been down here moving things around, whatever. And I had looked underneath the couch and it drops down. That lining has always dropped down. So I just didn't see her. That's where, anyway, that's where she ended up being. I only knew that because when I started moving stuff around big time, she was not happy about that.
Because first you were like kind of scooting the couch away from the wall and you're like, she's moving with it.
Yep.
That's because she's in it.
She's in it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I shouldn't have told her, because before I left, I said, all right, Nico, you're going to go to the kitty doctor today. And Nico understands English. And I think she knows, like, oh, shit, that's happening today. So then when the door mysteriously opened by a demon to let her out, she was like, here's my chance. I got to go hide under the couch. Mm-hmm. So she probably ran all the way down here and jumped in the couch. And so you pull the couch out, you start trying to tip it over, and she jumps out, and you see her. Then what?
Then she just was like, demon kitty. I can't use any other explanation other than that. It was like she'd been possessed. I mean, she's always has a little bit of attitude, but she's sweet to me, but she knew what was happening. So she was just like, I don't care who you are. I'm mad and I don't want to go with you. And even before that, before I even got her out, while she was in her little cave underneath in the lining of the couch underneath, and I was trying to I used like a vacuum extender to think I could scoot her out. And then once she would run out into the open space, then I could snag her. And so that pissed her off. And so she started batting and with her claws out and hissing and groaning. And then the other two cats are down here quarantined because of the painting upstairs. Mm-hmm. And so they're watching all of this. And then they want to come to my rescue, especially Luna, our gray one. She comes over like, why are you doing this to my mama? So she starts fighting her back for I think in my defense.
Of course. And
so I couldn't get them separated. It was just, oh my God. And I was having my heart rate was elevated. I was upset. I knew that I wasn't supposed to be moving heavy things, so I was trying to be strategic about that. Oh my gosh. Anyway, long story short is I finally got her up the stair twice or 3 times I got her up to the landing on the stairs thinking this was going to be a good idea to be able to get her into the kitty
trap
caddy.
her in there, yeah. Trap her
And,
in the corner.
well, I left it open. I left it unzipped, and it was at the bottom of the stairs.
Running into it?
No, I left it at the bottom of the stairs because I knew that was so I was like, my plan was, like you said, just grab her by the neck. If you can get there, I knew I was probably going to take some more, some scratches along with it.
Did you paint like a sign next to it and put some grass over it? No. Arrow pointing into it?
No.
Go in here.
No, I didn't.
Looney Tunes?
No, right. But so the last attempt, I even told myself this. I'm like, I'm going to try this one more time. And then if this doesn't work, I'm going to call him and cancel.
Oh, sorry. We're interrupting
exercise time on the
Hudson's
wheel.
Yeah, exercise time. Hudson's her smallest.
So I went up to go grab her, and she scooted around me and angrily ran down the stairs, and ironically literally ran into the kitty caddy. And I was like, what are the chances of that?
That's what's
I don't know if that was purposeful or not.
Wow, so
she probably was like, you know what, I'll go. Just don't touch me.
Right.
That's probably what she was thinking. I know what you're doing. Let's friggin' do this.
Yeah, that's crazy that she would run in there.
Yeah, it was right down the bottom of the stairs, and I had the whole thing open. So it wasn't just like unzipped halfway. It was all the way open.
It was like a drawbridge.
And then she, boop, ran right into it, still growling the whole time. And I was like, no, you're kidding me, right? So I was like, zip, zip.
I wouldn't have believed. Like, if I'd have been here, I'd be like, honey, well, we would have probably got her, because teamwork, I think, is the key to this whole thing. But I would have said, honey, that there's no way in hell she's coming down the stairs.
That wasn't even the intention. I wasn't like, here's an idea. If I leave this open at the bottom of the stairs, she'll run into it. No, not in a million years. That's not possible.
And I'm like, you just got to grab her by her neck, pick her up, and throw her in there.
That's what the plan was.
And then you went to do that, and then she's like, clawing at
gosh.
you and hissing.
You heard her. Yeah. So then I put her in there, and I'm talking to her the whole way, and I'm like, we're going to have to talk about this when we get back. Like, I expect a full apology from you. So,
she's puking and pooping everywhere.
Yeah. So, but we made good. So she's old. She's not a huge fan, but we did find out that she had three claws that had their toes, I guess is what they call them, is like what our thumbs are, right? And those ones were grown into her pads.
Yeah.
And then also one of her pinkies, which the vet said was weird, but had grown into her pad. So
not very comfortable.
We got her antibiotics. They clipped them all. And then I said, what's the plan here? Like,
how do we talk to her about her toenail upkeep?
Right. And as parents of animals, obviously you have to take that responsibility. If you're not capable or willing to do it yourself, then you need to figure out who will do it for you or how you'll pay, and it's expensive. I mean, if you feel like you can't do it, there's groomers that will do it, or you can make an appointment with your vet, but that's going to end up being costly.
You got to track the cat down.
Yeah. So, no.
I wonder if we could buy, because the little man, as you can hear, he's working out on his exercise wheel. I wonder if we could buy something like that, but with like
sandpaper.
Yeah, or something where they walk on it and it just.
They wouldn't do it.
They wouldn't walk on it.
They wouldn't do it.
Can we file them? Like, what's the easiest way to do this?
No, I think that we just need to actually just clip them and not just do one or two. We just need to take her to, like, I don't know. If we feel like we can't do it, then we're gonna have to take her to PetSmart or wherever where they do grooming.
No, we can do it. It's just I don't know that I'm good at it, and I don't want to cause her more pain. But if she's in all this pain, and maybe there's some people listening that have cats that they have to do this once a month, and it's probably not a bad thing. Some cats, I guess, if you do it early, they can get used to it.
Yeah.
And so it's not a don't touch me kind of thing. It's like, hey, all right, we're doing Maneos today. Like, not a big deal.
Sure. Yeah.
Because they have those cat caps, those claws caps that you can put on cats, which I don't even see us. I don't see how that would even stay on there for 20 minutes. So you glue them on. Yeah, that's okay. Good luck. But I see like in the videos, like the lady's just putting it on the cat, just sitting on her lap. And I'm like, there's no way in hell our cats would allow that.
No. So it's just, we just have to upkeep, and we have to just get more comfortable doing it.
Yeah. Would you have done that sober?
No, absolutely not.
You probably like, get in here. Nope, not happening. Okay, never mind.
I've been
Going
like,
back to
I don't know,
drinking.
it's your cat. She automatically becomes your cat when she's got an attitude.
And when did they start growing into their? Because when she was younger, she never did that, and that's what I'm saying. Like, is she not doing enough scratching?
Yeah, it's that. It's because as they get older, they're not as active with like the scratchy posts.
They just want to eat ice cream, watch TV all day.
Yeah, so they don't actually naturally like come off. And you'll find. I mean, people who have cats know this. Every once in a while, you'll find like a claw. And it's when they get long enough, then they'll kind of like gnaw them off, like chew them off, like biting your nails.
Like my toenails. Or like your nails.
Yeah. So.
Well, I'll look on Amazon or the internet and see if there's any kind of like trick stuff we can do. So that way I can be lazy and not have to do anything.
Sedate
put it all on her.
Like knock her out.
Yeah, clip your nails responsibly. That's everybody knows that.
Yeah.
You're going to clip them responsibly. Otherwise, it's your fault.
Yeah. But these are the like, I don't want to say it was excitement because, it was
a lot of excitement.
It was really.
That's exactly what you wanted to do when you're 9 months pregnant.
Yeah, exactly. Chase. And I was literally up and down these stairs, 3 flights of stairs. I can ask Bob, hand to God, I was up and down these stairs like 15 times.
And Bob tipped us off because you were going floor by floor after. I'm like, well, she's not in the bedroom, and you're like, yeah, I've looked everywhere, but I didn't let her out, so I don't know how she got transported down to the basement.
Yeah.
But so you checked the middle floor first, and that's when Bob was like, oh, I saw her in here a little bit ago.
No, it wasn't.
Or I saw her, and you're like, where? And he was like, in here.
Yeah.
Like, well, she wouldn't have been in here.
When I rewound in my head, it was because we're getting all different kinds of stuff fixed and patched up, and I had apparently, my guess is that when I was in that bedroom for like a brief second with him, because I was showing him the part of the fan that's in our room, and she probably did not like hearing his voice because she hates strangers, and so she probably bolted, and I didn't see it. So you were right that she had gotten out, but.
Yeah, but then I was like, did I let her out? Because I did go up and change shirts. I'm like, no, because I remember telling her she's just going to the kitty doctor today, which I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Because she really does understand that. Like, if I tell her to get up, she gets up. If I say, go to mama's spot, she goes to mama's spot. She really does understand what we're saying. And she's had enough bad experiences and they're not really bad experiences. The car ride is what she absolutely hates.
Yeah.
When you get her to the kitty doctor, she's cool. But that car ride, she just hates it.
Yeah.
She gets so nauseous and sick. It's just not fun for her. So when I say kitty doctor, I know that she puts 2 and 2 together and it's like, oh shit, like that's happening today.
Yeah.
So,
thanks for that.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that. And I'm serious, I shouldn't have, because I think that, like I said earlier, if you just walk in, grab her, she doesn't know what's going on, throw her in there, she's like, oh shit, oh no, we're going somewhere.
Yeah.
The time she realizes that it's too late. But you give her some warning, she'd be hiding and getting all hostile.
But they're all doing a lot better with that kind of disarray that is our home right now, just because we have to. And,
Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about Bob.
Let's talk about Bob.
And how we found Bob. We, I don't know how or what, but I was sent this link to get on this site called, hold on, I should probably figure out what it's called first. Neighbors or something?
Next door.
And it's like Facebook for old people, which I guess Facebook is for old people. So this is really confusing, but it's for like neighborhood people. And so I joined it. I was like, why not? And then I would see like, hey, there's a Sasquatch over here. We spotted one over here. And there's a bear on Spring Road. And I'm like, oh, shit, okay, this could be helpful. And we were like, man, we got to find some painters because we wanted to fix some things before Parker comes. And he's coming very, very soon.
Yes.
And what do we do? And I was like, I did see somebody on there saying, like, beware of scam artists. Beware of this guy. Don't let him do asphalt. And there are other people on there like, I paint doors and whatever. Or, they put whatever on there. Probably something better than I paint doors. But I'm just saying that came to my mind. And so I was like, cool. So I jumped on there and I posted, hey, looking for a painter, looking for some, some odds and ends tied up before the baby comes. And some people responded, and one of the first people to respond was Bob. And he's like, 50 years experience, painting. I'm like, okay, cool. That's what I want. And I could tell that just by looking online about how to hire a painter. And that experience is huge. We had one guy and it didn't really work out. We had him paint one room at first, and that's when we started looking for others. But if somebody has that much time, that much experience, they're worth every penny. Even if they charge more. You're like, oh, okay. So just seeing that, I was like, all right, cool. This guy's he's semi-retired, which we found out later he's fully retired, but that's cool. He still does that. So I guess he's not fully retired because he's painting our house for money, and that's a job. That's what he does. But as far as like the 9 to 5, whatever, he's not doing that anymore. So saw him, I'm like, all right, cool. And then this other guy wrote on there too, and a couple other people, and some of them didn't have websites. Some of them had 0 pictures of what they've done, and I didn't feel comfortable with that. And then I started looking at their phone numbers, and there was Bob's phone number, which was ended in 2017. So obviously, the 1 and the 7 stood out, and I thought, haha. I think I might have even said something like, honey, this is probably our guy because he's got 217 at the end of his phone number. And then I looked at another guy's, and his was 0217. I thought, well, maybe this is the guy, clearly. So I eliminated everybody else and just focused on the 217s.
Just crazy.
And so we get the other guy, and he actually came first to give us an estimate. And every time we would like, and then this wall, and he'd like roll his eyes like, oh, that wall too? And you want the basement done? And the bathroom? Oh, like he's just, hold on, let me just draw some sketches here, and I'm going to have my son with me and maybe a couple of his friends and the whole neighborhood, and who knows how many people are going to come in your house, and we're going to all do it all at once. And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then he gave us a quote for $18,000 million, and we were like, whoa, like we don't have $18,000 million. And I thought maybe he just outpriced it. And then he like wrote me back, hey man, you take my bid. And he's like, I want half before I even start the job. And when I knock on your door that day I start my job, I want to make sure I have the other quarter. So that way I have 3/4 of the monies. And then I'm thinking like, what is the limit to small claims court? Because this is a guy, he didn't have a website. He just gave me a business card and it says licensed. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't help me. You don't have a website. You don't have pictures of any of your work. Like, are you a scam artist? Are you charging people enough that way you get 3/4 of the $18,000,000, and we can't even take you to small claims? We got to go hire a lawyer and do all this other stuff, which is going to cost us more money in the end. So you hit that happy medium to where you just walk away. You're like, well, I lost all that money because I'd have to spend more than that to get a lawyer to get that back. So it wouldn't even be worth it because there's scam artists out there. And I don't know. I didn't like his rolling of the eyes and just like, oh, and then you're gonna have me do that. Oh,
so he's exaggerating.
No, I'm
a little
not.
bit.
I am not. Not one bit.
Some pieces of it, but overall, we should have. Yeah, it just didn't make sense in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, so I was like, no. And then Bob hit me back, and then I was like, why don't you come give us the estimate? And Bob's approach was, look, man, I'm retired. I do this on the side, to earn some extra income so me and my wife can live comfortably. And I can paint all this for you. I can do this. I can do that. I can do that. I'll throw in the trim. I can do that for free. Doesn't matter. Blah, blah, blah. And then he gave us a quote, which was not $18,000 million. So we were like, that's right where we wanted to be with our quote. And Bob's like, look, I'm going to come maybe do this that day and this that day. I don't work all day, like 7 to noon, 7 to 1. And that was more our pace too. But now when once you get into it, and he's doing a great job, he really is. And once you get into it, then he's like, okay, I got painting tarps on the floor, and but hey, we're getting it done, and it's worth it. And Bob's great, and he said to me too when he came to do the quote and to kind of look over the job, I was wearing my sober sweatshirt. He's like, I like your sweatshirt. He's like, are you sober? I was like, well, actually, I'm in recovery. He's like, oh, me too. Like 50 years or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like, oh, well, cool. You know, so that's another sign. And, you know, we talk quite a bit. We were talking the other morning for like an hour, and you're like, why don't you just go get the microphones? Turn those on.
Got a second?
Sure.
You guys, I want you to check this color to make sure you're okay with it, because it's pretty dark.
Okay. That's a Corey thing.
Let's go check it out.
Let's check it out.
Bob's has to go check a color. And 3 hours later, we are back from checking a color. How's it going, Marney?
It's going good.
Someone listening in real time is probably like, what? Yeah, let's replay that. Bob yelled down, hey, guys, I want you to come check a color. And it's a good thing he did. And earlier I was talking about 50 years experience, and I think this came into play.
I did.
Because there was a color that I wanted to pick out, and there's an app through Sherman-Williams' website, which looks nothing like the actual color that's going on your wall. So it's pretty pointless to use it. And I had a hard time finding a color, and I picked out Armory, which was like a really dark gray on their website and app, which really is like a really dark brown. Mm-hmm. Nothing like I wanted. And Bob, having this experience, is like, I'm going to ask them before I paint this bathroom. I'll pull a little bit on the wall to see if they agree. And we went up there, and I said, no, that's not what I want. I don't want a dark brown. I wanted a gray.
Yeah.
So off to Home Depot. No, first off to Sherman-Williams I go. And the new color I picked out is called Cityscape. That's going to be my bathroom. And we had network gray that we did our bedroom in.
Right.
So if you want to go see what colors that Marney and Corey's house is going to be, there you go.
Right.
And then agreeable gray is coming soon for the kitchen and downstairs, but in the office. But yeah, so I went and got that, came back, and then you were like, all right, we got to go to Home Depot, because not only is Bob here, but we have a guy named Mitchell here. Mm-hmm. And he's fixing the drywall.
Yeah.
Because the people that had lived here before us, I think this is a mistake I could have made if I wanted to hang some candles, like a candle holder up. And they drilled straight into the pipe that runs water down from the upstairs to
right.
So when you remove the screw on that, it causes a leak, which caused our drywall to be
rot.
Yeah, and
rotten mold.
So we had to replace that. So that's what Mitchell's here is doing. And so I get back, and it's like, oh, now we got to go, because not only did the people who lived here before us not watch any Bob Vila shows or know how to look up YouTube, anything. They just took a hacksaw, or I think maybe it was a hatchet, to the ceiling where they wanted to put a ceiling fan, and they're just like, that's good. Yeah. And so there's this really weird big ass hole that when we open the door to the bedroom, the suction like starts dropping insulation from the ceiling. Yeah. And we haven't really shut that door often, so like it's just no need for us to realize this until now. And it's just like, what? Took the fan down, and we see this like they're trying to escape from prison or something. Like I don't even know. Like it's baffling. Just think what we're gonna find in the future. Like it's this house is so much fun. I love it.
It was like, but the thing is too is it's like we want to make it better to know this stuff now, right? Mm-hmm. So to get it done right, get stuff repaired and get it done right, and we've had really good luck, I think, coming across, the people that we need to be able to do the jobs that we need to like keep everything moving forward. God, we're not going to know what to do with ourselves when like everything's done.
We'll have a baby. I think we'll be pretty busy.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's just one of those things. But I'm glad that Bob did check with us. And I think, again, that's his experience that he knows, this color, I don't know if this is what they wanted. So let me go run down and ask him real quick. And yeah, 3 hours later, we're back. Which, if you're listening now, you didn't even miss anything. And
the awesome thing is, on top of the fact of his knowledge and experience with the painting stuff, is Bob is also a person in recovery. He's very proud of it. Mm-hmm. And so we chit-chat about that quite a bit. And he's really supportive, like very kind of vocal about like what we do as 217 recovery, right? And like, finding events to do with people that show them you can have fun in recovery. It's cool to be sober. Like there are things to do, there are places to go. There's, these are experiences that you can have without using alcohol or drugs. And it's so nice when you have somebody, like, we didn't seek him out for that reason, obviously.
Just his phone
happened.
number.
Yeah, it just happened to be that.
2017. So.
Yeah, and next thing you know, I mean, it's a person in the fellowship that's just like, like there are people, and they get it, and it's just really cool to have that connection.
Yeah, he's funny. He's like, we could do a golf. We can go golfing, and I'm like, that would be kind of a fun little event if we took people golfing and just did some sober golfing out there. That would be fun. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, and if they know how to skate, we can go skating and do some hockey. Like, Bob, you're 80.
It's
man. Hey, it's a young 80.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was 80 until the other day. I was complaining because I had slept on my arm wrong again or something. I'm like, oh, I'm so old. Like, the sleep is hurting me. And he's like, yeah, my shoulder was a little bit.
I still think you should have him. I still think you should have him on the podcast.
I'm painting your house. I'm actually doing work, not just complaining about how I slept wrong. And I was like, how old are you? He asked me how old I was. I was like 45. And he's like, oh, I'm 79. I was like, I really shouldn't be complaining about how I slept wrong. And it was hard to get up and go this morning. He's like actually doing work and painting our house. And yeah. No, he's a cool dude. And yeah, I will have him on the podcast at some point. Because like you said the other day, where we started going with this, is you came down and you're like, you just need to get some microphones up here. Let me just bring some microphones up. He's like, this is a podcast. I think you were being sarcastic.
No, I was being serious. Well, I wasn't being serious about bringing up microphones at that moment. Is the whole time I was listening to you guys talk, I was essentially just like, this would be a great podcast.
Yeah. But we'll have Bob on for sure. And I think that'll be fun and interesting. And some of the stories he tells, and, he's been sober for a while, but he went through it. He went to treatment even. And, it came to a point where he was like, no. And I know his wife, I think, had a big part to do with that, or just his marriage. And it's not that he did it for his wife, but he did it because he didn't want to lose that marriage.
Yeah. I think it's also interesting too, is like when people will reflect on, especially people with a lot of sobriety, will reflect on, they'll be telling stories about their past, and they'll be like, those were the days when I was drinking. And all it is basically how much more difficult it was to do essentially everything. Right. Or or a place in their life where they were at where things weren't making sense and things were, maybe not even necessarily at their bottom, but just it was struggle. It was a struggle to live. Right. Because things were dysfunctional and relationships were dysfunctional and relationships with children or with spouses, and to have people reflect on that. And it's almost interesting to see how, because a lot of the people that have as much sobriety as like he does, they don't maybe necessarily think about it on a daily basis because it's been so long. And I can imagine that will probably end up happening a little bit maybe for us somewhat. But it's like almost like these chapters of life ago where it's hard to remember how bad things were until you actually have a conversation with somebody like us where we're kind of new and fresh in it and talking about what we do and why we do it. And it takes them back to, like that was, I had to go through that. So it's really interesting.
Yeah. I don't think Bob, this is just me speaking for him, I don't think he forgets any of it because he's quick to say, yep, I remember, because we were talking about blackouts. And he said that he remembered one time coming to right when his vehicle was about to roll. And he's just like, what the hell? So like he can relate to that and remember that just like it was yesterday almost. So there's some things that I know that I'll never forget. You'll never forget. And people say, well, the more time you have away. No, I'll never forget it.
I'm not saying necessarily forget it, but we don't rehatch it. Like you don't have it in regular conversation. You know what I mean? It's not something that's at the top of your head.
Right.
Until you actually are having a conversation about, but which we have those conversations all the time because it's what we do. We help people who are in all different, varieties of or times of sobriety. But
yeah, but we'll have Bob on at some point.
Okay. Yeah, just keep me posted.
Yeah.
Oh. And speaking of having people on, aren't you supposed to do a podcast with a woman?
I have not revisited that, but yes, at some point. We've had a lot going on, and I'm trying to wrap up my work stuff too with the baby coming. So, but yeah, it's on my agenda. I'll do it.
Yeah, his due date's May 26th, but he will be coming before then. That's all I'm going to say. Now,
so says your Magic 8 Ball.
Here's the thing about the Magic 8 Ball. I asked him, so Lil Parker, when do you want to be born? When you coming out? And May 8th popped in my head. Bloop, May 8th. It's like, it was.
Which is like tomorrow, it seems like.
Well, it'll be this coming Wednesday, but I don't know why. There's nothing special about that day for me. It just May 8th, boom. I was like, okay, cool. I'll plan on that. And maybe it was some telepathic, like, psychic, I don't know. Or maybe I'm just crazy. Doubt that.
We're going to find out. But he will come when he's ready to come.
Yeah. But I will guarantee it'll be before the 26th.
Yeah.
100%. So if your birthday was the 26th, you're like, I want to be born on my birthday. It's not going to happen. Sorry, just not.
It's a beautiful day outside.
It is. And we're going to go mushroom hunting in our backyard.
We are.
And we're going to put up deer feed. Did you know, which I didn't, and neither did you, Marnie.
Of course I didn't.
That it is illegal in Michigan to put out a deer lick. I know you're thinking, I can buy them at the store.
We thought we were done of the days of doing illegal things.
Yep, you can sell them. Yep, and you can buy them. You just can't put them out. We were so confused. We went to Jay's Sporting Goods to get some fishing gear, and they donated a little something to us for 217's fishing outing that's coming up in June. And you were like, oh, let's go get some stuff for the deer because we have deer that run through our backyard. If you want to call it a backyard, I don't know.
It's behind our house, so yeah.
A little bit of grass back there and some woods. But there's some deer that pop out from time to time. And last fall, allegedly, we allegedly put out a salt lick that we had maybe bought from Meyer. Mm-hmm. And you asked for that, and they're like, whoa, what are you doing? And they're like, well, we're putting it in our backyard. And he's like, no, that's illegal. You're like, what? Why do they sell it? Yeah, I know. It's just illegal because mad deer disease or something. Crazy cow disease for deer.
I forget the name of what they called it, but essentially it's the same type of thing. It's like
bone degenerative disease.
Yeah.
Wasted away deer disease.
Yeah, it basically says that if for whatever reason a diseased deer obviously uses the salt lick or eats off of the, whatever it is that you're putting out there that attracts the deer, then multiple deer can lick off the same and
it'll attract deer from because Michigan deer are straight, but it's like the other deer from like Indiana and the ones that boat over from Wisconsin, those deer could be degenerative disease deer. So those deer we don't want in our backyard. But apparently if we put a salt lick out there, they're all going to come here. And we definitely don't want any Ohio deer.
Well, I mean, I'm telling you, that thing was gone in like 2 days.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just salt. It was like grain and
apples.
Stuff.
And it smelled like apples.
I don't know. It was fun to have. It was almost like
I just roll it on the hill.
When you give cat treats to cats.
I had to sneak it out back. Just drop it out there like I didn't do nothing. I just kind of kicked it down the hill a little bit.
But this is legit. This is just like this. We bought seed that is, and he called it.
Clover.
The gentleman called it. He called it a plot. His growing plot or something.
Yeah.
And he said it's so he can view nature.
Yeah.
The deer in nature, and it's not because we're trying to track them down to shoot them.
Didn't he say it looked like a golf course or something? I think he was going too far with it. We're already going to buy it, dude. You don't need to sell it to us anymore. But
we're right now, we just are looking at pine needles or leaves and,
And I think he underestimated how much I didn't want to work out there. Because I was like, so we can just take and just throw some in the woods and it'll grow. And he was like, well, you're going to want to grab a rake and kind of move it around. And I'm like, well, what kind can we just throw out in the woods and it'll be good? And he was like, well, you're going to have to kind of break the topsoil a little bit.
That's fine.
That's not what I'm trying to do.
So we bought a rake, and it's going to be a project.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to do that, and then maybe look for some morels out in the woods on our house, while Bob and Mitchell work on our house. And it's a good thing, man. It's pretty cool. And on the drive to go buy supplies, it's Yeah, because we had to go back to find this goofy thing. It's called Goofy or Goofer.
It was called a goof ring.
Yeah, goof ring.
When I Googled like filler around light fixture or something, and it ended up, that's what it popped up with.
Yeah.
Google did. But come to find out, it's called a
ceiling
molding. No, medallion.
Ceiling medallion.
Ceiling medallion.
That's what
So it's a
called.
fancy piece of literally just plastic.
Yeah, that goes in between the ceiling fan and
Yeah.
the ceiling. So,
But I mean, somebody somewhere is making a pretty penny off of what it is cost to make that and what they sell it for.
because people who try to cut up their ceiling with a hacksaw, it doesn't do good.
Yeah, there's a whole like bunch of people that make a ton of money off people that just are like lazy and not good at what they do. The fix-its.
On the way there, I'd look over to you and was like, can you believe like we can do this and that we're doing this now? And there was a time when we were like, how are we going to pay our rent? You know, like better not splurge on McDonald's. We didn't really go to McDonald's, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now it's just kind of like things are just falling into place. You know, you finish school, 217 recovery is doing well. You know, like we're employing people. You know, like we're helping the community. We're helping the economy.
Yeah.
And we're sober.
Yeah.
And we're smiling. We're having fun. We actually have a future. It's an amazing thing. And for people who are younger, who are turning around, I know there's this man a little bit downstate. His name's Jonathan, and he's doing well. And, you know, see people like him who are younger than us, and it's like, dude, you saved yourself so much misery. Like, you trust me, you're not missing out on anything.
Right.
You know, and he's at that point now, too, where he would probably be like, yeah, no, I'm good on drinking. No thanks. Been there, done that. But others fight it for so long and so hard. And then you get to a point, you're like, why did I fight that so hard?
Yeah.
You know, but for the younger people who have gotten it and turned it around, there's another guy named Andrew who's kind of doing the same thing. And it's like, good for you guys, man. Like, don't give in to peer pressure of, oh, we can't drink it. No, just don't want to.
Yeah.
It does nothing good for me in my life.
Right.
You know, to be at that point in life at such a young age, you guys are blessed. You guys are lucky. You really are. And I'm proud of the younger generation for doing that.
Yeah.
You know, props to y'all. A lot of people make fun of you because your choice of clothing and music. But hey, I'm proud of you for your choice of saying, nah, it's all right. I'm going to change my life for the better.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go look for mushrooms and get deer ready to be fed.
All right. Let's do it.
But thanks again for listening. 217recovery.com for resources. If you need a recovery coach, hit us up. We do have some events coming up and some events going on now if you want to be a part of. They're online as well. And if you haven't seen pictures from our Detroit trip, it's all online, 217recovery.com.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Win a bunch of free shit from 217 Recovery. Go to the app or the website, 217recovery.com.